Hello and welcome to this tutorial for C#. It's going to be a Hello World tutorial, and well, a Hello World tutorial is basically how to make your first application, which will just open up a window and display Hello World on the screen, and then you just press enter and it exits. So I'm using Visual C# 2010 Express, but you could be using the 2008 version. It wouldn't actually matter. Now click on New Project, and this window will pop up. Then choose Console Application and name it Hello World, and then click OK. Now you see it's creating the project called Hello World. And it has now created the project and presented it for us. You see here over on the Solution Explorer is where you can view all of your projects in your solution. This solution is called Hello World because the first project we created was Hello World. So you see in the Hello World project you have a folder called Properties, one called References, and a file called program.cs. CS is the file extension for C# programming files. This is the program.cs file. So see, it has already some information inside it. And these using system basically tells the compiler, this program that will make your program, to look into this. So now we see that we are using the system. It's called a namespace, and if you look at your references, you see that we have the system in our references. So that means it is using the system namespace. A namespace is, well, you see here we have the Hello World namespace. Namespace is something we're going to go over in a later video. But you see here we have the system DLL, and we're using the system namespace. Inside that we're using the generic namespace inside the collections namespace inside of the system namespace, which means that we are basically, because namespaces can be stacked inside each other. So you have a namespace called generic, which is inside a namespace called collections, which is inside a namespace called system, which again is inside a DLL called system, and link queue in system, text in system. And then starts our program. Namespace Hello World. This is the namespace of our program. Then you see class program. This is where the main program is. A class is something we'll also go over in a later video, but what you want to focus on now is this static void main, or actually not this static void thing, but what's inside these curly braces. This main tells the compiler that this is the start of your application. Everything inside here is the things that start up first. So when you first start up your application, this is gonna run, this line. Let's close this. So let's type something, and you notice that, well, I'm typing, this little window popped up. This is called IntelliSense. It basically shows some suggestions for words that I can use. They're called keywords, and I can double click on this, and then you see I get the console word, which is the window in our console application. We're going to use the right line, and you write this like this. So right line, and then open parentheses, close parentheses, and then a semicolon. You must end each line with a semicolon unless it is a line that ends with a squiggly brace or a curly bracket, or if it is a line that is either a namespace, a class, or a function. This is called a function. It's a void function. We'll go over functions in a later video. So what we want to do is this console dot write line. We're going to write a line inside the console, and this, you need these two double quotes to tell it what it is, or else it thinks it is a keyword, which we don't want. So let's type hello world. Let's put an exclamation mark. This, you see, it pops up as a system.string. A string is what's called a data type. This is now a variable. You see here we have string as well. String is a variable type. As in math, you only use a variable type called double, which is a decimal, a large decimal number. Because when you use variables in math, then you can say x equals to 3 and stuff. So that is basically a variable, and a string is a variable type. So we can have in C# we can have x equals to hello world, for example. If x is a string, so that we can do stuff with it. Like if we had a variable and we could print, and that variable was hello world, we can print out the variable instead of this hello world text. But enough of that. What we're going to do now is console dot go up and read. This is what you use if you want to read in a key. So if you want the user to press an option for say, and for example if you press A, then you want it to do some stuff, and this is how you could read in that. So this reads in, if you press A and then enter, then this reads in that, reads the next character from the standard input stream. Okay, so this is actually our application. Now let's run it and see what happens. And it says hello world, and then you see it stops because of this read. So we now press enter and it exits. So that is how you create a simple hello world application in C#. If you like my videos, please comment, like, and subscribe. And if you don't like my videos, well, what are you doing here? You could just get out. Yeah, bye.